Imagine having a simple model that helps you to manage stress, empower your team, and stay focused on what matters most. This is what you're going to learn today on today's episode. Welcome to the Modern Humanitarian and Development Leader podcast, the podcast helping humanitarian and development supervisors make a greater impact by taking control of your time, leading more inclusively, and empowering your team, all the while avoiding stress, burnout, and overwhelm. I'm your host, leadership coach, and former aid worker, Tori Peace. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, my aspiring modern NGO leader. I hope you're having a wonderful week. And have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, you're still behind? Or maybe your team keeps waiting for you to decide everything, and you end up exhausted and frustrated. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. I've coached dozens of NGO supervisors who feel the same way. But after working with leaders across the globe, I've noticed 5 common areas that determine whether leaders burn out or thrive. Today, I'm going to share the framework I developed from these lessons. That is the clear leadership model. All right, you ready? Let's get started. So in my early years as a leader in the humanitarian and development sector, I really struggled with overwork, unclear priorities, and micromanaging. And later, when I started to coach my team, I kept seeing the same patterns. People who were so driven and motivated by the mission and very intelligent, but also overwhelmed by time, struggling to empower their teams, and constantly reacting to crises. This was the same when I started coaching NGO leaders after I left my own INGO. I realized that were certain patterns that were really holding NGO leaders back. And that's why I created CLEAR. So the CLEAR model is basically an acronym for clarity, letting go, empowerment, alignment, and resilience. And it is what I've found that if you have all of these together as a modern NGO leader, you will be successful in managing your time and creating impactful results. All right, so let me walk through a few examples. So C is for clarity. That is clear vision, values, and goals. So for example, leaders who know who they are and are very clear on what they want to achieve, the type of impact they want as a leader, they have a vision that they are working toward. One of the most powerful things that I have done as a leader is creating a vision when I was a country manager on the type of impact that I wanted to create. It allowed me to understand where I was headed and how to really rally together both myself and my team in order to get there. So clarity, very important. The next one, L, letting go. That is stop micromanaging. Stop feeling like as the leader, you need to know all the answers. An example of this was one of my former students who started by feeling like he had to answer everyone's questions and tell them what to do all the time. This resulted in him becoming a bottleneck. Basically, he was a productivity bottleneck for his team. Everything had to go through him. It slowed him down. It prevented him from working on more important things. And so when he learned how to use coaching and how to ask better questions and empower his team instead, he was able to really help free up so much of his time and also remove himself as the bottleneck. So less micromanaging, less having to know what everyone is doing, and more trusting that our teams mostly know what to do. Then there's E, empowerment. So coach and not direct. So for example, I've had leaders who come into the course and they're telling their teams what to do. They are not really fully understanding what coaching means, that coaching is not giving advice. It's not telling others what to do like many people think it is. It's actually asking them questions so that they can get out of their own way and solve their problem. So by empowering our team, we can allow them to confidently handle their roles and become more independent and reduce reliance on our support. This allows them to become more efficient at what they do and us to become more efficient as well. A, alignment. Leaders who go through the day-to-day motions and get pulled along by the most urgent types of tasks are those who usually don't have a clear vision of the impact they want to create and are usually those being led by other people's agendas. One thing that's so powerful is when we have a vision, like we said, clarity around our vision, we're able to align our actions and take actions every day in order to head toward that vision. And this can be very powerful in terms of understanding what is truly productive versus what is just being busy. And then finally, R is for resilience. So managing your energy, your emotions, and your mindset. For example, when we have a certain unchecked thoughts, we're not aware of how our thinking can actually lead to our higher stress levels and burnout. Our beliefs, the way that we work, and very common beliefs, such as the ones that drive what I call high performance syndrome. For example, as a leader, I need to be available all the time. These types of thoughts can get in the way of us being truly motivated and inspired to do our best work. And they can actually lead to the opposite, which is burnout. So resilience and building resilience, also very important. So if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you'll recognize pieces of this clear model. Like when we talked about stress during uncertain times, or how to empower teams instead of controlling them. What I'm doing now is bringing it all together into one model that you can use every day. So this week, I want you to ask yourself, which letter of clear do I need the most right now? Clarity, letting go, empowerment, alignment, or resilience? Start with that one and see how it goes. And my mission is to help you thrive as a modern humanitarian and development leader. So clear is the roadmap to get there. Are you ready to step into it? Let's get started. I will be talking more about this over the coming weeks. All right, until then, keep evolving. Bye for now. Are you the type of leader that tells others what to do? Or do you let them figure it out for themselves? Understanding your leadership style is the first step to deciding what's working for you and what's not. To find out your leadership style, take my free quiz. What is your leadership style? You'll immediately find out your default style, how it may be impacting your team, and a few practical ways to become an even better leader. Just click on the link in the show notes, www.aidforaidworkers.com/quiz, fill out your quiz, and click submit. So what are you waiting for? Go to www.aidforaidworkers.com/quiz and discover your leadership style now. Your team will thank you for it.